Hello, community, and happy Thursday to all of us. I hope you and yours are doing fantastic. Welcome to today's community event on this beautiful Thursday. We're always thrilled and delighted to have you all here with us. As you see, today's topic is giving it away. We're going to touch on a very important market that literally is the largest market globally, financial market, I should say, and that's the derivatives market. So we'll see how the crypto derivatives market is literally finding its home on Ethereum platform. This is not wishful thinking. This is not let's hope and see, but these are infrastructures that are already in full display, are fully functional already, and many more products are launching this month and upcoming weeks as well, as we will see as we progress throughout this session. However, before we get to all of that, I want to welcome for anyone that is joining for the first time. Welcome to our community event. We have various community events throughout the week on various platforms. We are a community that is fully dedicated in fundamentals and to be informed and educated, because we understand that this new technology is here to stay, and also specifically the blockchain technology. And in order for us to embrace it, we need to understand it, right? And this is what we are here to do. This is what we are here all about. And also, I want us to also understand that we have our daily events, which is tweets. All of them are out. Killer Whale, BULLRUN, and Survivor. All three are out already. So those who have not engaged yet, I highly recommend for us to do so, as it helps to bring awareness to our industry that we are so passionate about, but also highlights how we are identifying the challenges that exist within our industry and how we are finding solutions using the latest technology, the blockchain technology, to address it. And that's what our ecosystem is all about. So if you're tuning in for the first time, welcome. And we are happy to have you here with us today. And for the regulars and the consistent community members, it's always a pleasure to see you all here as well. As you know the drill, we'll go through your comments at the end. So we won't leave any comment unread or unanswered, but we'll come to all of that at the end. So since there's quite a bit to cover today, let's jumpstart into today's topic and see what we can take away from today's session. With all of that said, community, let's kickstart. And as always, let's always start with the coin market cap, right? Just briefly come and look at how the market is. Just give it a quick glance. I'm glad to see that we're up 3.15 trillion in market cap, and we're up just below 6% for the last 24 hours. And I'm sure many of us already understand and know why the markets are booming right now, and the markets are so excited. One thing I need us to always understand is the markets are very sentiment driven. They're very emotional, right? And this is how the markets are driven. They're based on sentiments. And let's not take my word for it. Let's jump right into it and look at what was the sentiment of the day. So the sentiment of the day, as we see here, is, and this caused Bitcoin also to hit and surpass 100,000 after a very long time, was because the sitting president, US president, was teasing a major trade deal, right? He said that there is a big country that they're going to close out a tariff deal with. So this, of course, excited the markets, and this had a positive sentiment, right? And this is what moved the market, among others. So Bitcoin then climbed to 98, and then the last 24 hours, like we saw right now, it's above 100 right now as we speak. And this was because the markets reacted, again, based on sentiment, to President Donald Trump's announcement. So all it took was an announcement. Nobody knew who the trading partner was. or if it's really a fact. That didn't matter. One announcement based on sentiments and emotions was enough to move the markets. That's how our financial markets work, including the crypto industry. So again, to be more specific for those who are not aware of this, President Donald Trump had announced that he would host a press conference in the Oval Office following the following day, actually tomorrow, and he would announce a major trade deal with a big and highly respected country. And that would be just a deal, it will be just the first of many deals, right? And this suggested, of course, a more international agreement could follow with more nations, more other countries. Because as we know, tariff has been a major issue, or I should say challenge in the lately with all these various geopolitical resentments. But now the markets, or rather the president announcing peace talks and agreements, it's really a fresh breath of fresh air for the markets. And that's how they also reacted accordingly, right? So again, like we said, Trump didn't even mention a specific country. It wasn't even necessary. But the New York Times had some insiders, resources familiar with the discussions, and this was enough for traders, right? That's enough. Just an announcement. We don't know the details, but let's just react emotionally and sentimentally, and that's enough, right? So, as we said, tariffs have been a key concern for markets in recent months, with earlier moves by the Trump administration leading to volatility across equities, which is the stock market and the crypto industry as well. So that's what moved the markets, and that's what making the markets boom like they are right now. Another thing, keep in mind that was in the morning, so it wasn't clear who the partner was. But now, later this evening, it was now confirmed that it was UK. So US and UK agreed on a trade deal, and the stock market, the largest stock market, of course, went up immediately. So it was a positive green day for both the equities market, the stock market, and the crypto market, as we are experiencing right now. Like we said, the stocks climbed on Thursday, which is today, and as investors reacted to President Trump's announcement, right? So again, it's reaction to an announcement, and that's what the market is. It's a perfect picture that literally shows what it takes to move markets. And the irony of all of this is that the markets are moved by sentiments, right? And are moved by just anticipation and speculations. That's how the markets are moving. Very emotional. Now, let's look at something else that took place yesterday, and the market didn't even budge. So yesterday, there was a new upgrade, Ethereum upgrade known as Spectra. It went live yesterday. Now, the question that the markets were asking themselves, why didn't ETH rally yesterday, right? Why didn't it go up in price? Like we said, once more, we can confirm that the markets really don't go up on fundamentals, right? It's a very emotional driven and sentiment driven, based on announcements, on hypes, on trends, on that, however. But let's not minimize that. Let's also understand something that is very important here. So again, despite the successful implementation of the Spectra upgrade, the market response has been notably muted, as the ETH price recorded only a modest 5%, right? So, but what we need to understand here is this. This is very important here. Even though the price didn't skyrocket, didn't shoot up immediately, what we need to understand is that Ethereum still leads in total value locked, right? And which currently sits at over $52 billion. And this suggests that trust from institutional players in Ethereum's security and long-term viability. just a fancy word of meaning its future potential rests in the hands of institutions right now. So institutional players are literally dominating Ethereum, and they prefer Ethereum due to its security and the long-term perspective of it, like the long-term potential that it has, right? So let's not just take this statement's word for it. I always like us to verify these things. So this suggests that trust from institutional players in Ethereum are more than that of retail investors. Let's set the stage for today's session, community, and that is retailers are always going with the wind. Whatever is trending, whatever is anticipating that concerns anticipation, speculation, big announcements, that's what moves retailers. So retailers are not the challenge. They will go just wherever the wind blows. But the main interesting point is always, where institutions go? Because they're the ones with the deep pockets. They're the ones with trillions of dollars in market cap and hundreds of billions in cash sitting around to invest. So wherever the institutions go and build and call their home, that's what really matters. Because everything else, retailers just need an announcement, just one tweet, and that's it. They're going wherever the markets and the announcements are saying they're going. So what we need to focus more is on what institutions are doing, right? What are institutions doing? Which platform are they choosing? Where are they building the infrastructures? Because based on where they're building, once they start making announcements and the sentiments and emotions go into retailers, they'll just go wherever these institutions are. That's where they're going to follow. Let's make this very clear. The most important thing to adopt, if you want adaptation, mainstream adaptation, doesn't come directly from retailers, but it comes through institutions. Why? Because institutions are well established, they are well regulated, they have all the licenses, and these same retailers, they're already existing clients of these institutions. They are loyal customers of the brand, or they're loyal customers of these financial institutions. Maybe they even have accounts with these institutions. They have they believe in their brands and the institution heavily. So whatever these institutions say or go or announce, the retailers, just like we saw today again, based on a single announcement, they'll follow, and the markets will react accordingly. Let's set that stage. So now that we say that, let's verify, is it really a fact that institutions are choosing Ethereum? Of course, due to its security and long-term viability. Is that really a fact? And is it really a fact that retailers are sentiment-driven, and wherever institutions go and make these big announcements, that's where retailers are going to follow? So let's verify that. Let's go on a journey together and verify. Keep in mind the topic is crypto derivatives market on Ethereum. And the derivatives markets is obviously led by institutions, right? So now, just to clearly, just quickly look at something here. So institutions are being connected or put together. They find the connections to the Ethereum ecosystem. So institutions are connecting on the Ethereum ecosystem, right? What is Ethereum? Right now it is the largest, the most secure, just another confirmation, and the most open blockchain, right? Blockchain is the latest technology right now that is built on top of the internet, mobile technology, and cloud computing technology. So it's like on the fourth layer, sitting on top of all of the previous technologies. And the choice, like we just read, of institutions is Ethereum. So we're just confirming. So this is a website known as Ethereum-based. Obviously, the name gives it away. It's a place that provides research, content, and products to bring the world onto Ethereum. Another thing I want us to understand here is that the financial industry is really still on a very old version of digital ledgers. The way they operate, they're still in very old and outdated technology, the financial market, the financial industry, and it needs an upgrading. So this is why the upgrading of the financial system, that's what's so alluring with Ethereum. And like we read earlier, majority of financial institutions, established institutions, are literally choosing Ethereum as their choice. So in the end, every asset will be tokenized on and secured by the Ethereum economy, right? So this is something, of course, that you would say, well, of course, this is easier said than done. Of course, they're going to say it. It's Ethereum. They're Ethereum, maxis, and of course, they're going to say it. Well, let's verify this. Are really institutions choosing Ethereum? Is that the case? And are assets tokenized on Ethereum? Are they secured by Ethereum? Does Ethereum represent a tokenized economy on the blockchain? Let's verify all these things. And these are easily verifiable because these are all items that are on chain. So we can verify these things. So let's start and verify. The best place to start verification is this nice website known as DeFi Llama. And actually, let's start to come here on all. DeFi Llama represents all assets from stablecoins, DeFi applications, lending platforms of all sorts. It puts them all together and gives us some numbers. So it gives us numbers, for example, how much total value is locked in the entire DeFi space. And these are across all sorts of blockchains. Obviously, Bitcoin is not smart contract blockchain. So obviously they don't have DeFi products built on top of it. But like Solana, Binance, Tron, Base, and all other layer 2 blockchains such as Arbitrum, Sui, Avalanche, so on and so forth, there are so many blockchains. So this is where what matters is always to see how much value is on the blockchain, how much liquidity is locked up on a blockchain, because that's what matters. You want an active blockchain where there's a lot of value locked, a lot of infrastructures are being built. How many institutions are taking place, participating in that blockchain's ecosystem? What infrastructures are being built? By who is it being built? These are factors that matter, right? And these are factors that might not move the prices right away, but once announcement starts coming from the likes of Amazon, from the likes of Microsoft, JP Morgan, UBS, and governments that they're building infrastructures, launching products out of Ethereum. As we know, retailers, they always go with the wind. Whatever is trending, whatever the announcement is based on FOMO, it's based on trends, it's based on sentiment, it's based on emotions. So moving or swaying retailers is the easy part. But having institutions build infrastructures and spend billions of dollars to do so and to develop products, that's the hard part. So let's move along. So all in all DeFi, there is over $100 billion locked up in DeFi across all the blockchains. And if we look at stablecoin, there is almost a quarter of a trillion, like $240 billion worth of stablecoin. So if we just isolate Ethereum now, let's keep this number in mind, 100 billion, right? 106 billion. Now, if we come here, we see that the total value locked across the entire DeFi, more than half of it is on Ethereum alone, just on Ethereum alone. Now, keep in mind, if you look at all other blockchains, you'll realize that Ethereum is the one that really has been underwhelming. let's come back here to this article, right? If you look at here, the question was, why was Ethereum not performing so well? Of course, it's due to the uncertainty in global trade, due to the tariff war, like we said, right? Due to the tariff war. However, Ethereum has been underperforming, right? And in recent months, and its price consistently lagged broader crypto markets as Ethereum continued to underperform, right? Other layer ones in terms of user growth or in terms of volume, right? It's been underperforming. So this is a blockchain that has been apparently, like it says, it's been underperforming, but nonetheless, it still holds more than half of all the value in the entire industry, right? And even in stablecoins, same thing. It holds more than half, more than 50% of all the stablecoins that are literally in the entire industry. Why is this so significant? You might ask yourself, and this is why it is so significant. Sometimes it's so much easier to explain things if we have numbers and graphs and names, right? And brands. These are brands we are all very familiar with. And starting with the largest one based on market cap, Microsoft. Right now, anybody with a desktop or even your mobile phone has a product of Microsoft of somehow. And if not, then you have Apple products. It's either or, right? Either you're on a Windows operating system or you're on an iOS, right? Apple operating system. One way or the other, you have either way. NVIDIA is another one. We see how they are hardware company, tech company, hardware. So most of our gaming consoles or most of our, even the entire data centers are using hardwares produced, developed by NVIDIA. Most of the world, I should say, is shopping from Amazon, right? It's our largest online e-commerce store. Most of us have at least used Google at least once today, Googling something, right? And we can go on and so on and so forth. But what I want us to zoom in on is this bank right here. This is based on market cap. It's the largest bank in the world, right? Based on market cap, not in the top 10, not the second largest. This is the number one largest bank based on market cap. As you can see, there's no other bank ahead of JP Morgan. These are assets based on their market cap. And it's the only bank actually right here on this list, as you can see. If it comes to payment processors, you only see these two right here, Visa and MasterCard, right? So Visa, MasterCard, JP Morgan. These are the names that you see, right? And then the obvious, the tech companies as well that we're all very familiar with, and we probably have some sorts of products from them as well. So why am I highlighting this? Is because this is exactly what's getting ready to happen. Let's look at it. This is exactly what's getting ready to happen. We are verifying what this statement is all about, that in the end, every asset will be tokenized, right? And then once it's tokenized, it will be secured on Ethereum and it will be part of the Ethereum ecosystem, right? This is what we're trying to identify. So if we just briefly come back over here, enough with the numbers, let's look at the applications. So what does it need to have a real ecosystem that can rival the traditional financial system? It's really easy. You need lending and borrowing, right? That's Aave. You need staking, so earning yield, like Lido or Eigenlayer. These are all staking and restaking or liquid staking platforms. And then you need a platform where you can trade, Uniswap. That's all you need. Lending and borrowing, Aave. Staking, restaking. It's a proof of stake blockchain, so obviously applications that offer staking platforms, so that comes naturally. And then thirdly, you just want to be able to trade, which is swap coins back and forth. So here you have the full palette. And then ironically also here, keep in mind, this is on Ethereum. So if we come back down here, right behind Uniswap is BlackRock. BlackRock happens to be the largest asset manager in the world. And what are they specializing in? Real world asset. So now on Ethereum, we don't only have lending platform, we don't only have staking applications and opportunities and options, we don't only have trading capabilities, but now we also have real world assets, and not just by some random meme coin, but this is the largest asset manager in the world, BlackRock, right? That is predominantly on Ethereum, as we see here. If we click on them, we can clearly see that they're predominantly on Ethereum as well, right? So now that we understand that, and we saw how what it takes to rival the current traditional finance is it takes a lending and borrowing platform, staking options, it takes trading platform, and then real world asset. So real world assets are a broad word that just means this. Let's go to it. Real world assets are a broad word, and literally this is what it means. Real world assets are tokenized assets, and they represent tokenized stablecoins, US denominated fiat, for example. They represent US treasuries, for example, tokenized, like BULLRUN, for example. Commodities such as silver, gold, and then stock market. If we go on every single one of these items, we'll always see that Ethereum has the largest pie out of all of them. So here we are under stable coins. Who is the leader here? It's Ethereum, right? So tokenized fiat currency, it's Ethereum, as we see here, the largest pie. If we go to tokenized treasuries, we'll see the same picture, right? Even larger, 3/4 of the pie is on Ethereum. Keep in mind, what are we verifying? Is it true that eventually things will be tokenized, items, assets will be tokenized, and then secured on Ethereum and be part of the Ethereum ecosystem? Obviously, we are seeing that, yes, indeed, that's a fact, that's true. What about commodities, right? Commodities such as gold and so on and so forth. This one is even a home run. This is literally 99.9% of commodities are on Ethereum. Now, what about the stock market? And we see the same picture. We get the idea. And keep in mind, these are the assets. These are the largest assets right now. These are the largest assets. And you see Microsoft, Nvidia, Tesla, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon. These are all stocks that BlackRock right now are dominating in. They are the largest asset managers, and they have the most ETFs, most successful ETFs, and they are the ones getting ready to also deploy all of those tokenized assets on Ethereum, right, as well. So let's look at, besides institutions, are governments also involved on Ethereum? And there's no better, or rather I should use the word carefully, there is no more clearer option for there is no clearer option for an institution, for a government, than Switzerland. If it comes to finance, if it comes to quality, if it comes to banking, if it comes to asset management, the world literally rushes to the Swiss. That's a fact. And we'll come full circle at the end. We'll close out with that. But for the sake of time, let's just stick to this for now. So the Swiss government has a state-owned bank. known as Post Finance. We know this by now. And the Swiss state-owned bank, Post Finance, has launched. It's not going to, it's not anticipating to, it's not announcing it. It's already in full effect staking. So you can walk into the state-owned bank and start with 0.1 ETH and start staking right away. This is not issued by a company. This is not a product launched by a company, by a startup. This is a product launched by the Swiss state itself, by the Swiss government. They are standing behind Ethereum, and they're offering Ethereum staking to 2.7 million Swiss residents and citizens. So it's not just institutions, leading asset managers and banks, but it's also the government, and not just some random government either, right? That has inflationary fiat currency. But this is the most well-run Swiss national bank, central bank in the whole world. So they chose Ethereum. So who else? Like we know, who else is choosing Ethereum technology? Like we saw, they're issuing UBS, right? They're issuing tokenized US dollar, or better known as money market fund. These are tokenized versions of them. And what are they using? What's their choice? What are they building on? Where are they building their infrastructures? Where are they spending their money, billions of dollars to build infrastructures on? It's on Ethereum. It's on Ethereum. Remember, follow where institutions go. Don't worry about retailers. Retailers go by the wind, whatever is trending. But where are the institutions, governments, large market leaders? Where are they building? Which technology are they choosing? This is what's important. Because obviously, all it takes is one tweet, and the retailers will go accordingly, whatever the sentiment is. So that's easy. But the most important and difficult part is to onboard established institutions. And most of them, especially market leaders, are choosing Ethereum. We already know about Visa and MasterCard, right? We're not going to repeat ourselves. We've discussed this many times. They also chose Ethereum as their choice. So let's skip that and go to somebody else. Right now, we all know Coinbase, right? Coinbase is by far the largest centralized exchange in the US. So now they are very much known for the AI agents. And we'll understand what AI agents are shortly. So what they did is they introduced a new standard. They call it the X402. What is that? It's a system that allows AI, artificial intelligence, agents to use USDC to pay for API calls using the provisionally unused. We don't want to get too technical here, but basically what it means is Coinbase, the largest centralized exchange in the US, introduced a new standard known as X402, which allows AI agents, which is artificial intelligent agents, to use USDC stablecoin. And it allows any developer can use the API. We're about to identify what are APIs. What does API mean? So this is all we need to understand for now. Coinbase, the largest centralized exchange in the US, has introduced a new standard on the using also obviously Ethereum blockchain security to allow AI agents to use USDC stablecoin. So now let's understand one by one, what is an API? What does an API mean? So it's very simple, actually. First of all, it stands for Application Programming Interface. What it is, in its simplest form, it's a software intermediary that allows two applications to speak to each other, right? So two applications can now talk back and forth with each other. And what are those two applications? It's the AI agent and the blockchain smart contracts. So let's look at that even closer. This is their website, Coinbase website. This is public information. It's out there, right? So let's just quickly come over here. So we are excited to announce the launch of Agent Kit. That's what they call it. It's a powerful new framework that bridges the gap between artificial intelligence, AI, and blockchain technology. So these are two separate technologies. And the API allows the AI technology to speak to the blockchain technology and interact together. And let's see how they're going to interact together. So the future of AI and crypto, right, is using USDC. And let's look at it. So with Agent Kit, we're laying the groundwork for the future of applications. Imagine a builder ecosystem with AI agents that can. Let's see what they can do. So monitor and execute trades based on market conditions. So they become economists, they become market experts based on conditions beyond just smart contracts. Agents, you can literally give them assignments and they'll automatically monitor things and execute trades, for example. You can deploy and manage smart contracts without human intervention. You can have the agents deploy and manage smart contracts. So this is what it means. You allow, APIs allow AI to speak with smart contracts and complete such tasks. They can even handle complex DeFi operations and so on and so forth. We get the idea. So integrate with existing APIs, like we said, including social media, file managers, so on and so forth. So you can even have them go through your social media or run your social platform like Twitter and interact with your followers. Or they can manage your file on the cloud through cloud computing, or browse through your emails and respond to them accordingly. So you see how this is the next step of technology. So these futures represent just a fraction of what is possible for the future. So the possibilities are endless. And where is all of this taking place? It's taking place on Ethereum, secured by Ethereum. And let's look at one more thing here. Another thing I want us to understand here is that, and now we're getting to the bottom of today's topic. So besides all of that we just saw, the latest news is that Coinbase just acquired a crypto derivatives exchange, Deribit, which is in the United Arab Emirates, for $2.9 billion US. Why would Coinbase spend so much money in acquiring a crypto derivatives exchange? Why is that the case? Let's ask ourselves that. So just to get some details here, Coinbase agreed to acquire Dubai-based Deribit, right? It's a major crypto derivatives exchange for $2.9 billion. And let's not get into how much they got and all of that. What I want us to understand is here. So we are excited to join forces with Coinbase to power a new era in global crypto derivatives. The derivatives market is huge. The derivatives market is the future. This is where all the opportunities across spot, futures, perpetuals, options, all of that takes place. And it's all under one trusted brand. Remember what we talked about? How retailers are all about brand recognition, brand loyalty, sentiments, emotions, right? So this is what we need to understand. So for us to understand the impact of this, why this is such a big deal, the crypto derivatives market, is because of this right here. Because of this. BlackRock is already eyeing the derivatives market, right? Just like what Coinbase is doing, BlackRock has been doing already. They are eyeing the crypto derivatives market. So what is it that these large institutions are so keen on derivatives market? And not only is BlackRock keen on derivatives market, but they're using their product they launched on Ethereum, BULLRUN, as collateral. That's the whole idea. And BULLRUN is the largest tokenized US Treasury fund, like we saw. As we know, it's the largest US Treasury fund, tokenized US Treasury fund. And they want to use that tokenized US bonds as collateral for the derivatives market. And Coinbase just spent a fortune on that. And another thing I want us to highlight here is what this means now for Coinbase. Let's come here. What's important is this. So one of the things we liked most about this deal is that it's not just a game changer for our international expansion plans. It immediately diversifies our revenue and enhances profitability. So you see that they have one mission, and that is to expand. And why did they want to expand is because the acquisition positions Coinbase as an international leader. Immediately, instantly, they become an international leader, no more just restricted to the US, but now then on an international level, and in crypto derivatives, right? And right now, so far, Coinbase has been just operating in markets, in the largest market for buying and selling cryptocurrencies. That's it, and only within the US. And but now, and it only had a small share of the global crypto market. But now with the acquisition, instantly they're the market leaders, where activity largely takes place on Binance, right? Usually it's been always Binance. But now with this acquisition, Coinbase is an international leader in crypto derivatives. Now, why is this so important? Besides BlackRock being involved with it as well, is because BlackRock also has been talking to several centralized exchanges to allow BULLRUN, which is again the tokenized money market fund, to be used as collateral for the derivatives market, right? Like Binance, OKX, and this exactly Deribit. Does this sound familiar? Deribit is exactly what was purchased by Coinbase. Do we see here? Deribit. So one of the largest centralized exchanges for derivatives market has just been bought, Deribit. And this is what BlackRock has partnered with. They've partnered with Deribit to use their BULLRUN token as collateral for their platform. And this is where we see it's happening. Do we see what's happening here? Do we connect the dots here? So this move is part of a broader push by Wall Street to deepen their involvement in the digital asset markets. And this is BlackRock's BULLRUN token, requires a minimum investment of so on and so forth, right? So we get the idea. So another thing that we want to just briefly highlight is we see that Coinbase and BlackRock, they already had announced a crypto service partnership, not for you and I, but for institutions, just for institutional clients. So if you have 5 million and above sitting around, then you can play the game. If not, then you can't. So they already, Coinbase and the asset manager BlackRock are partnering to provide BlackRock's institutional clients with more direct crypto service. So if we go back here, we come full circle, and we see here again what it says here is that right here we see that it's the institutions, It's institutions that are literally dominating Ethereum, right? It's the institutions that are literally dominating. It's not retailers, it's institutions. So it's institutional players that are in Ethereum, building on Ethereum, embracing Ethereum. This is just to confirm that indeed it's true. So now that we understand this and have an idea now, the question remains, how large is the derivatives market? Why is everybody so keen and spending so much money on acquiring derivatives exchange, and why do they want to get a hold of it? It's because the derivatives market, like it says here in our word, is gigantic, literally is, and it's often estimated at a $1 quadrillion market, right? It's a $1 quadrillion market. It's a number that is unimaginable. It's the largest market ever. It's the largest market in the financial industry. This is the cream of the cream, the top. This is where you want to be playing in. And what does derivatives actually mean? Let's go back to this to understand what derivatives are. Again, stablecoins are derivatives. Treasury, tokenized stablecoins, tokenized US dollars, for example, tokenized treasuries are derivatives. Commodities are derivatives. Stocks are derivatives. You get the idea. And if we go through them one by one, where are these derivatives? On Ethereum, predominantly. Where are these derivatives, like treasury markets? Again, here, they're on Ethereum. What about commodities? By the way, gold is one of those commodities. Bitcoin is considered digital commodity. Both of them are traded on Ethereum, right? Like we see here, it's on Ethereum, hands down. So all these tokenized assets, commodities, tokenized stablecoins, tokenized treasury bills, tokenized commodities, tokenized stocks, where are they traded? On Ethereum. This is where they'll all end up coming to. And this is why Coinbase has spent almost $3 billion to have a crypto derivatives exchange, because they are in partnership with BlackRock to offer institutional clients more direct crypto services. And also because BlackRock itself has partnered with Deribit, right? That Coinbase just bought. To do what? To use their BULLRUN token as collateral for their derivatives market. We all know that JP Morgan has the collateral network, right? Also on Ethereum, and is using BlackRock's money market funds also as collateral for the derivatives market, right? We know that as well. Don't take my word for it. Let's go to the article. I always like to verify. Let's not just believe, let's verify. This is the article. So JP Morgan as well, they already launched, and actually they're already having up to 2 billion in transactions every single day. They're already using BlackRock's tokenized shares as collateral, as we see here. They're using BlackRock's tokenized shares as collateral for the derivatives market as well. If we go down here, we can see it even clearer. So JP Morgan has carried out, they're not going to announce, it happened already. They're already doing transactions on chain. It's live. It's blockchain-based collateral settlement transaction involving BlackRock, right? And this US banking giant is already using, like we say, tokenized collateral network, TCN. And what is it based? It's Ethereum based. As we see here, it's Ethereum based, right? JP Morgan's Ethereum based, and they're using it for the derivatives market, as we see down here. So this is very important for us to understand. So not only is Coinbase into the derivatives market, not only is BlackRock into the derivatives market, but we see how JP Morgan is in the derivatives market as well. So what are we saying with all of this? What's the bottom line of this? The bottom line, community, is that the derivatives market indeed is dominated and infrastructures are being built on Ethereum. And institutions are busy spending billions of dollars building infrastructures, launching products as we speak, having patents on the Ethereum blockchain. So while retailers are fascinated with price actions and asking themselves, why is Ethereum price not moving up and back and forth? The institutions are building infrastructures. They're calling Ethereum their home, and they're using real world assets and existing financial assets that we have right now. The fiat currency, the bond market, commodities market, the stock market. These are the existing 4 asset classes: the stock market, commodities market, right? The treasury, the bond market, and the foreign currencies market. All these markets, asset classes, are on Ethereum, and many still don't realize that. So let's just quickly come back here again and make this point. Bitcoin is one commodity. It's actually looked at as the digital version of gold, right? It's one commodity. And commodities are traded on Ethereum. Whether it's gold, whether it's Bitcoin, you are being traded, whether it's stocks, whether it's bonds, whether it's foreign currencies, you are traded on Ethereum. That's one thing we need to understand. Secondly, if a single commodity can hit $2 trillion, one commodity that is traded as we speak on Ethereum, what does that say for Ethereum, where the entire DeFi space, all the applications, all the real world assets, the entire derivatives market is getting ready to be, the infrastructures are already being laid out, have been laid out already on Ethereum by Visa, MasterCard, by JP Morgan, by BlackRock, by UBS, the Swiss government. They chose Ethereum already and building infrastructures on it. And this doesn't move the price until these institutions start making tweets, start making announcements, start going out and talking about what they've done and how they're launching products on Ethereum, right? So in the real world, you don't do announcements until it is the right time. So only because there are no announcements right now doesn't mean that these institutions are not building. You have to dig and do your research to even find these. It's public information, but many don't even know about these large banks, but payment processors, institutions are building infrastructures on Ethereum. Many don't even know. So the difference is that on Ethereum is not about speculating on price. On Ethereum is about real institutions building infrastructures, real governments believing in the technology, leading banks are believing and using Ethereum technology. Established, well-respected central banks, such as the Swiss, they're not just using the technology, they're offering Ethereum staking. While the US is still debating whether it's a security or not, the Swiss already are making money, earning fees on their citizens and residents. And this is not a company, this is the Swiss government itself. They're way ahead. They're offering staking already. They understand that Ethereum is a commodity, and to secure its network, You need staking. It's a technology, it's a software. So this is where we stand, community. Those who know. If not, you will know, but you'll come later on, right? So this is what life is always about. Those who make the fast moves, those who build the infrastructures, those who find solutions, those who see things before the crowd follows. Are you part of the crowd that will follow and come in later on? Or are you seeing what's happening and being spelled out right in front of our eyes, and you can literally see how the crypto derivatives market is literally on Ethereum, and that derivatives market is literally a $1 quadrillion market. And it's not coming on a single commodity. It's coming on a blockchain that is a technology and an asset at the same time. And this is public information. If you look at the largest assets right now, which is foreign currencies, stablecoin, the US bond market, commodities such as gold and Bitcoin, right? Stocks, they're all on Ethereum even now already as we speak. So what are we saying? Let's close out this session. As I promised, I said that we're going to come full circle and look at Switzerland even closer. So right now, while the global reserve currency, which is the US dollar, obviously from the US, is suffering from inflation, that interest rates can't even be cut because it will cause even more inflation to stimulate the economy. It will raise inflation numbers even higher. And that's the dilemma the US find itself. While the world is suffering on inflation, the Swiss National Bank, they have a different type of challenge. They have deflation. Why? Because the Swiss franc is in such high appreciation against the dollar because it's looked as a store of value. It's so liquid that it's looked at as a store of value. And if people are purchasing Swiss franc, its value goes up. This puts pressure on the central bank, the Swiss central bank. This is a luxury problem. Your currency is so strong that you're forced to print more of your currency and buy other currencies to not make your currency too strong. This is the ideal situation for a central bank. They literally have a money glitch. They can print as much Swiss franc as they want, but are still deflationary. This is the only, and I use the word very carefully, the Swiss franc is the only fiat that doesn't suffer inflation challenges. Again, don't take my word for it. Swiss consumer, actually, if you see here, the annual inflation was 0%. It was 0 last month. And it dropped from a 0.3 in March. In April, inflation was at 0. No inflation. No inflation at all. Why does the Swiss franc doesn't have any inflation? You answer that with this question. Why is the Swiss National Bank balance sheet so big? It has the largest balance sheet, only behind China, which is the largest trader in the world, and Japan. After China and Japan, Switzerland has the largest. They have $1 trillion, actually $1 trillion Swiss franc on their balance sheet. And ironically, they only had 85 billion in 2007, right before the financial crisis. And during the financial crisis, it was regarded by international investors as a safe haven and was therefore in high demand. Why? So in order to curb this upward pressure and thereby counter the further fall of inflation, the Swiss National Bank made extensive purchases of what? Foreign currencies, over several years. And this is why they went from only 85 billion to $1 trillion Swiss franc. because the Swiss franc is such high demand internationally by international investors that their problem is they have to print money and buy foreign currency with it so that they can bring down their currency. It's too high, it's too strong. And how did they get that done? It's because their balance sheet is liquid. It's through liquidity. That's the only way you can get it done. If you have liquidity, if you have a liquid balance and you based your monetary system on liquidity and not on debt. While the US is going through debt crisis and the rest of the world going through inflation, there's fiat currencies, most of them. The Swiss have a whole different challenge. They don't suffer inflation. Actually, they suffer deflation. And they have too much liquidity. That's their challenge. That's the best challenge you can have, actually. So why are we talking about this? Is because these are the same institution that is ahead of everybody else as usual and already chose Ethereum, is offering Ethereum, using Ethereum technology. And the largest Swiss bank, UBS, it's also using Ethereum technology and tokenization. So we see, learn from the best. If the Swiss that have a deflationary monetary system, the only ones with a deflationary monetary system, choose Ethereum, they know how to run their central bank, they know how to keep their balance their budget, and they chose Ethereum, they must know something that many don't know. And if Ethereum is good enough for the Swiss National Bank and for the largest bank in Switzerland, and they're using Ethereum technology and offering Ethereum staking to their residents and citizens, they must know something that many still don't even understand. And that is that Ethereum is where DeFi is being built on. Ethereum is the backbone of DeFi. It's an application layer where all of finance and the derivatives market is being built on top. So the Swiss already went ahead and are staking Ethereum and offering that service also to their citizens and residents. That's the whole point. The derivatives market is on Ethereum, and the Swiss understand that, and UBS understands that. Visa, MasterCard understands that. BlackRock understands that. They don't only understand it, they even came up with a product to be used as collateral for the derivatives market. Not only that, JP Morgan, the largest bank in the world based on market cap, they actually came up with a network, tokenized network, also on Ethereum for the derivatives market. So let's not be caught up in the price movements. That's going to come, and it happens very quickly, like we saw, right? Within 24 hours, Ethereum hit 2,000 just based on the market conditions. So what's going to happen if Visa, MasterCard, UBS, the Swiss government, or JP Morgan, BlackRock makes these announcements of new products launched on Ethereum? This is how it's going to affect sentimentally and emotionally affect retailers to join the movement. But at that time, we're already in it. We're already on Ethereum. We already understand this. So the point is, knowledge is power. See things before it goes mainstream. By the time it hits mainstream and your barber, your hairdresser is talking about it, it's too late. So get into things before everybody else knows about it. Right now is the time to understand what's happening and be on top of all of this. And this is not hitting mainstream right now. This is not fun. It's not trending. These are things that are not trending right now, right? However, these are facts. These are facts. And the bottom line, and this is how we're going to close out, the derivatives market comes from foreign currencies, comes from bonds, the bond market, comes from commodities and the stock market. These are the current asset classes, and they're all right here on Ethereum. Right here on Ethereum. So you don't have to pick a winner. You don't have to go about and pick an application. Just pick the right blockchain. And the more it's adopted, the more it's used, the more deflationary it gets. The more it's staked, the more stable it gets. The more total value locked it has. And institutions, large institutions and leading governments and leading central banks like the Swiss Central Bank already chose its technology. It's already staking Ethereum. So let's not get caught up in the price movement. The price will come. That's a symptom. Don't worry about the price right now. It's going to move. Right now, we should focus on who is building where. Who is building where? Who is upgrading the financial system? Where are the infrastructures built on? Who is going to, where are all these tokenized assets built on? Who is securing these tokenized assets and real world assets? It's on the Ethereum economy. That's it for today, community. That's it for today. And what we need to understand is that it's one thing to be on Ethereum, but it's a whole other thing to have a community on Ethereum, have an ecosystem, a platform that is addressing the 4 major challenges in the industry. Because if not, you're going to miss out on all of this. How are you going to retain liquidity that is coming on Ethereum? How are you going to retain that? Do you have a liquidity retaining mechanism within your tokenomics, within your mechanisms? Do you have implemented a liquidity retention system in your ecosystem? We have one. So with all this volume and liquidity that is coming, BULLRUN is going to retain 3% on every buy and sell and puts it into the liquidity. Meanwhile, it's going to reduce the supply, which is already did, from 1 million to 962,000. Again, don't take my word for it. Let's come to Etherscan and verify. We started with a max supply of 1 million. And for every staking platform, you need to have a scarce, literally scarce ecosystem, scarce token, not inflationary. So you see here, we came from 1 million in supply. We started with 1 million in supply, in total supply. But now we're down to 962,000. And this number keeps shrinking. Why is this so important? Because we have a staking platform. If you have a staking platform, you need a scarce supply. Nobody wants to stake a token that is inflationary. We learn from the dollar and from other fiat currencies. So if you see this number one wallet, this is a smart contract. This is a staking contract. And right now, we are closing in on 75% staked of the total supply. This is massive. We are among the top 3 most staked cryptocurrencies in the industry. And our aim, we are very close to ticking the first box to be the number 1 most staked cryptocurrency in the entire industry. And we're already in the top 3. And we've not even gone through our very first bull cycle yet. So this is a smart contract. This is a staking contract right here. And if you look at this staking contract, you'll realize that there's a USDC being accumulated inside this staking contract, right? It's a contract like you see here. So if we go back, why is USDC being accumulated inside of a staking contract? It's because we're using the volume to do so. So as we are retaining liquidity, this attracts even more traders to trade even more. So as traders are trading, the supply keeps shrinking, the liquidity keeps being accumulated or retained, and the USDC distributions, like we saw in the smart contract, is being accumulated, right? Like right here. You can come to the smart contract and you can see how much USDC is in the smart contract right now. So those who are staking BRL are going to receive the USDC from this staking contract, accumulated strictly by the volume of the trade, from the trading volume. So this brings us to the 4th point. you need to use your volume efficiently, right? So if you use your volume efficiently, you keep accumulating USDC for the stakers, you keep increasing your liquidity. This attracts traders to trade even more, and then your supply also keeps shrinking. So why would you worry about price movement? Focus on these fundamentals here. Address the 4 major challenges in the industry. Lack of liquidity, address it. Inflation, we addressed it. Unsustainable staking distributions, we addressed it. And then use your volume efficiently. That's what gets all of these flywheel going. So these are the 4 challenges that we are being faced with in the industry. And after identifying them, we didn't go out on Twitter and complained about it, but we did something about it. And what did we do? We used this latest technology, blockchain technology, using smart contracts to address these challenges by implementing these various systems in place. A system that accumulates liquidity, burns the supply, and accumulates USDC for the stakers. And liquidity is also retained differently. We put aside the 10% to keep using the USDC to buy back and restake, right? Once that happens, that creates volume. When we have volume, what happens? Increase in liquidity, shortage in supply, decrease in supply, in total supply, and more USDC for the stakers. And also, we have to have 100% of your staking rewards, USDC distributions. You need to have 5 NFT boosters. And these NFT, the revenue generated from these NFTs are fed into the liquidity pool. And then finally, the whole community as a whole can individually decide to do just this. Use your USDC distributions that you receive to buy back and restake. And imagine 100,000 people doing it, 1 million people doing that. More liquidity is retained. The supply just keeps shrinking. USDC distributions keep accumulating, locking in the stakers even more, stabilizing the network, securing the network. So if you focus on these fundamentals, are you really worried about the price? So let's not worry about the price movement. Let's understand the fundamentals. Let's embrace that we address these 4 challenges in the industry. The rest is just a matter of, like we just discussed, understanding that the entire derivatives market is getting ready to hit Ethereum. And with it, there will be a lot of liquidity coming in. So if your ecosystem is not retaining that liquidity, is not burning the supply, is not accumulating USDC distributions from, you're going to miss out. You're going to miss out. We've already been waiting for more than 4 years for this bull run since the last one in 2021. And this, if your ecosystem doesn't address these 4 challenges, you're going to miss out. And this is going to make 2021's bull run look like just an appetizer, because this one involves now institutions with trillions and quadrillions of dollars. So this is it on our side, community. As we said, as always, let's come back to your comments. Let's start looking at your comments and read what you have there. Maybe you have any feedback, you have questions, you need more clarity. Let's come and go through your comments, community. The bottom line of today's message is, let's embrace what we have right now. Let's understand what the blockchain, the Ethereum blockchain is all about. Let's understand that it's a layer of application. Let's understand that the derivatives market is being literally built on top of Ethereum, and infrastructures are being put in place on Ethereum, and that it's a $1 quadrillion market. And Coinbase acquired a derivatives exchange. BlackRock is into derivatives and it's using its BULLRUN token as collateral. JP Morgan has a tokenized collateral network on Ethereum. Visa, MasterCard have payment on and off ramps on Ethereum. UBS is on Ethereum using Ethereum blockchain technology. The Swiss National Bank and the Swiss government are offering Ethereum staking. What else do we need to understand? Everything is being spelled out to us. All we need to do is embrace it, lean back, and wait for the time to come in. So this is it on our side, community. Let's go through your comments here. Puny says, hey Steve, thank you for teaching us about Ethereum and showing us how big Ethereum is in relation to our ecosystem. Pectra is a game changer to make it usable, scalable, and human friendly. This is a fact, very true. Well said, Puny, or Queen or King to be Puny. Well spoken, very well said. This Pectra is going to came with a lot of changes, as we know by now. Specifically, like you won't even need Ethereum anymore to do transactions, right? Even if you have stable coins, that's good enough. Also, for the stakers, Ethereum stakers, they can stake way more now. They're not restricted or limited to stake only 32 and keep coming up with new servers of 32 ETH. But now they can expand it. Also, wallets now are used as smart contracts as well. So you can do so many more things. Also, transactions, we don't have to verify and execute anymore, right? Now, one transaction will make transactions go through on Ethereum. So all these are small changes, but very important changes that will facilitate the crypto adoption and to allow it to go mainstream. We have Queen Grace says, hello, our dev, Steve, and the entire BRL family. Pectra hard fork having gone live on Ethereum. Absolutely, absolutely. This is a major step. It's a major deal. And these are the things that are really exciting, but doesn't directly relate, or you might not be seeing it affecting the price right away. However, these are items that are so important, and these are the backbones of building infrastructures on, right? And making Ethereum even more attractive, not just for the institutions, but for retailers as well. Queen Debbie says, the topics alone will make you glued to the channel. Greetings to you all. Thank you for the feedback, Queen Debbie. Just like you and Queen Val yesterday as well, you had all of us glued to the screen as well with your Facebook live sessions. We appreciate you very, very much, Queen Debbie and Queen Val as well, for your efforts that you put in. Glad and hope that you were able to take away something from today's session. Queen Grace says, hello Dev Steve and BRF family. Pectra hard fork on Ethereum network is thundering positively in the crypto space and in our favor. Beautiful moments loading in our ecosystem. Thanks for teaching us. Well said, Queen Grace. Absolutely. It's beautiful to see that. And this just makes us understand that these are softwares, just like with our phones, our computers, laptops, hard desktops. There's always these software upgrades that even secure hardwares more or make it run much smoother, so on and so forth. That's what's happening. And this just makes us understand that indeed Ethereum is it's a technology. It's a software that you can upgrade, update, right, every now and then. And this is what it's about. And many don't understand that this is a technology. It's not just a coin that you trade on Uniswap, but it's a technology. At the same time, it's an asset that you can also invest in. You can build on top of it, and you can run the entire derivatives market on it. And this is exactly what we need to understand and embrace. So well said, Queen Grace. Then we have Queen Lati. Queen Lati says, greetings, BULLRUN family. Thank you, King Steve, for bringing up that topic. Since yesterday evening, I have been following the market movements, and it seems this silent giant Ethereum is waking up. Beautifully said, beautifully said. Queen Lati. Very much appreciated your feedback. It's beautiful to see how, yes, the community is following along and really seeing what's happening around us and embracing what's coming our way. So these are obviously beautiful times, definitely to see that there's some motions, there's some things happening in the markets, and we see Ethereum finally crossing 2K. So it's not just on the tech side and adoption side and infrastructure side, but we also see it moving on the price side as well, which is very encouraging, of course. We have Queen Val says, greetings to all my fellow bull runners. Big thanks to our amazing speaker, Mr. Steve, and deep appreciation to Queen Mother Winner for the consistent dedication and work you're both doing for the community. Thank you so much for your well wishes, your kind words. We can only give it right back to you too, Queen Val, as you and Queen Debbie yesterday are always hosting every Wednesday on Facebook. You're educating the community on topics such as the blockchain technology and the BULLRUN ecosystem. So you're also very, very much appreciated for all your consistency and hard work. We have Queen Alice saying, greetings, our Dev King Steve, our Queen Mother and BULLRUN family. It's nice to be here. Thanks, Dev Steve and Queen Mom, for always being there for us. I salute you. Thank you so much, Queen Alice. We salute you right back as well. We appreciate your leadership, your consistency for always showing up, never missing these events. We salute you for that as well. We appreciate you very much. Then we have Queen Val posting these links to our Telegram groups. So she says, for the new members, welcome to our community sessions. We're glad you joined us today. Feel free to join our Telegram community. So let's do just that. If you're not yet, like we said, we lay emphasis on education. We have various community events on various platforms, such as obviously here on YouTube. We're also very active on Twitter as well. Like you see, it's one of our daily activities that we host. We're also active on Facebook, like we just mentioned, on Wednesdays, led by Queen Val and Queen Debbie. And then also we have the Queens on Fridays and Sundays on Zoom. And then we also have Saturdays and Mondays also on Twitter Space. So we are very, very active community. We lay emphasis on informing and educating the community, and that's what we do. So thanks, Queen Val, for posting these links so that those who are not yet can be part of our movement. Then we have none other than the great brother Theo. Says, greetings and happy Thursday, my great brother Steve, dearest great Queen Mother Winner, and my awesome BRL family, derivatives on ETH. I can't wait for this session to start. Thanks again, great one. We appreciate you very much, great brother Theo. I hope that you are able to take away something from this session today. And absolutely, it's beautiful to understand that the largest industry, the largest market in finance, the derivatives market, is silently being built on Ethereum, right? While the world is being sidetracked with all these tariff noise, institutions, governments are building infrastructures on Ethereum for the derivatives market. Well said, my great brother Theo. And then we have Queen Aloshi, says, eagerly waiting to hear from our dev. Ethereum, the next dog in the crypto industry. Very great news. Absolutely. Very well said, Queen Aloshi. This is something that is beautiful to see, that we've been talking about, and now seeing it happening right in front of our eyes, and seeing all these institutions building infrastructures on it. The easy part is to persuade the retailers. Retailers are easy to persuade simply by tweets, emotions, sentiments, but it's hard to persuade institutions to spend billions of dollars to build infrastructures and to pick out of so many blockchains and pick one and build infrastructures on it. And not just some random institutions, but these are all market leaders. Visa, MasterCard are market leaders in payment. BlackRock is the largest asset manager in the world. JP Morgan is the largest bank based on market cap. UBS is the largest bank as well in Switzerland and in Europe. The Swiss government themselves not only run the most deflationary central bank in the world, but they also offer staking for themselves and the residents and citizens of Switzerland as well. So we see that reputable governments, institutions, market leaders chose Ethereum to build their backbone infrastructures on. So how about us? So beautifully said, Queen Aloshi. Queen Marilyn says, really excited to be here. So are we. We're glad to see you in the community, Queen Marilyn. Always a pleasure to see you participate in these events. Great Brother Theo says, greetings and happy Thursday. We read this already, right? Then we have Brother Ernest, King Ernest says, greetings, BULLRUN family. Greetings, Brother Steve and Queen Mother. Thank you so much for yet another session. Thank you as well for participating in these events consistently. You are very, very much appreciated. Then we have Not Be Named says, hello, Brother Steve and Queen Mama Wino. Thank you for the continued dedication in crypto. Thank you too for your consistency and always being part of these sessions. We have my great brother, King Abdullahi, says, warm greetings to the amazing BULLRUN family. What can we expect from today's session? In-depth discussion, expert analysis, and maybe some surprises. My great brother and King Abdullahi, you're very much appreciated. Your energy is contagious. Your positive energy is contagious. Your leadership is second to none. And we appreciate you very, very much in the community. We can't stress that enough, how valuable you are to all of us. And I think I can comfortably speak on behalf of the entire community. You're very much appreciated. King Abdullahi says, let's dive in, engage, and make the most of this opportunity. Ready to learn, grow, and BULLRUN to new heights. Beautifully said. We're always hungry and eager to learn and grow. That's the whole point of these sessions, right? Well said, King Abdullahi. Queen Grace says, happy Thursday, Mr. Steve, Mama Wino, and my BULLRUN family. It's another beautiful day to sit under your guidance as you impart more knowledge to the community. More strength and health is my sincere prayer. Thank you so much, Queen Grace. Thank you for your well wishes, encouraging words as well. May all be well with you as well. And we appreciate your consistency, your leadership as well. It's always a pleasure to see you consistently participating in these events. You never miss any of these events. You're very, very much appreciated as well. And may all go well with you and yours as well. Queen Resego says, good evening, family. Hello, King Steve and Queen Mom. Let's sit back and learn from our best. It's getting hotter and hotter. Thank you so much, Queen Resego. It's always a pleasure to see you in the community. We appreciate your feedback, and we hope that you're able to take away something from today's session as well. We have Queen Joko says, good evening, Mother Wino, Mr. Steve, and beloved BULLRUN family. Greetings right back to you too, Queen Joko. It's a pleasure to see you in the community as well. We have Queen Emily says, hello, Brother Steve, Queen Mom, Wino, and my BULLRUN family. Greetings and hello right back to you too, Queen Emily. I hope you and yours are doing great. We have Queen Esther saying good evening. BULLRUN family, happy to be here once again to be educated, informed, and inspired. Thank you once again, our developers, Queen Mama Wino and King Steve. We thank you just as much, and we appreciate you even more for always being present, always participating, and being part of these community events. Your leadership is very much appreciated. Then we have Queen Patricia says, good evening, family. Good evening, Mr. Steve. Came in late. We'll catch up later. Thank you for your dedication. Stay protected and blessed always. We appreciate you very much, Queen Patricia, for always being part of these sessions as well. Thank you for your feedback, and may all go well with you as well. Then none other than my Uncle George. Good evening, Steve, Mama Wino and BULLRUN community. Glad to be present to get updates on crypto. The market indicates upward movements today. Let's hope it's the beginning of BULLRUN. Pack your bags. Beautifully said. Beautifully said. The beautiful thing about this is that let's always not be caught off guard, right? Let's always be prepared, so we don't have to be prepared. We're already prepared, right? And things happen very quickly in the crypto space, as we can see. It doesn't take much. And while you're blinking or taking a nap, things can happen extremely quickly. And if you're caught off guard, not prepared, still in your doubts, and still being burnt out with all this noise around us, we might miss, right? So let's always stay on guard. Let's always be on top of the latest events and news, like Uncle George just said. And let's be, this is why we offer these platforms so consistently, daily, week in, month out, throughout the year, right? Thank you for the feedback, Uncle George. None other than Queen Mother herself says, greetings to our amazing community. Together we rise higher, speak louder, and shine brighter. Beautifully said, Mom. Beautifully said. Thanks for another educational empowering session, Steve. We thank you too, Queen Mother Owino, and for your guidance, your leadership by example, your consistency. We're only as good as you are, right? And you lead by example that we all can really aim and strive to live by. Then we have Queen Connie says, thank you, Steve, for everything. Thank you too, Queen Connie, for all your consistency and participating in these events as well. We have Queen Jane say, hello, community. Happy to be informed. I'm glad to be in this platform. Be blessed, Brother Steve and Mama Wino. Thank you so much, Queen Jane. May you also be blessed. May all be well with you as well. Thank you for your well wishes. Then we have none other than Great Brother Theo says, thank you for yet another phenomenal session, Great Professor. Thank you just as much, Great Brother Theo. It is amazing how you are able to take all these events happening globally and breaking them down and tying them all together in a way that a novice like myself is able to understand and digest. You know, our Great Brother Theo says, we in the community are so very, very fortunate to be here on this journey with you and our Great Mother Wino. Thank you both again for everything. Thank you so much for your very, very well and kind wishes, Great Brother Theo. We appreciate you just as much, and I'm glad that these sessions have some sort of value to all of us, and we're all just a small piece of the larger puzzle, right? We're all just contributing to the best of our abilities so that we can empower each other to go and move forward steadily, right? It's not a one queen, one king show, and individually we can't succeed. Let's look at what Queen Mother Wino said, right? Together we rise higher, we speak louder and shine brighter. It's all about togetherness, right? So I'm very flattered, my great brother Theo. However, I have to give it back to you as well and the rest of the community that this is all that's just possible thanks to every single one of us in the community. And then we have Queen T says, thank you very much. Thank you also very, very much. And with gratitude, we then close out this session of today. We appreciate every single one of you for taking your time out of this busy day and being part of these sessions. Very, very much appreciated. It just shows how eager we are to succeed, to learn, to grow individually and as a community. And it goes a long way. So we appreciate your comments, your feedbacks. We hope that these sessions are serve you as a point of reference that we can move forward with a clear understanding of what's happening. It's a very dynamic industry. Things happen very quickly. And it's beautiful to see that we are also seeing on the geopolitical front peace talks and trade deals happening. And that's what we want to see, right? And next, step by step, things are happening. And before we know it, we are where we need to be, and we'll be found prepared and ready and not lacking, right? So with that said, community, I want to wish everyone a wonderful rest of the week. And of course, for the Queens, tomorrow is Friday. So I wish you all the best to have another wonderful and amazing and enriching session, Queens. And for the rest of us, latest by Saturday, I hope that we can once more gather together as a community and talk about current events, open questions, feedbacks, whatever the case may be. With that said, community, have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. Till we meet again. Bye-bye, everyone.